What's going on, guys? So today I have a flashlight that I wanted to talk about a little bit. This is the G338, all right, and this is basically just a necklace flashlight. Now, of course, this is sold as a necklace flashlight. It comes with a ball and chain, but there is a little clasp here. If you wanted to, you could take this off the ball and chain. You can put this on your keychain. You know, you can keep it in your pocket loose. But I actually carried this just as it's intended around the neck. You guys know I love neck knives. This has been my neck flashlight. Kind of an interesting concept. I do know a couple people who have neck knives that have very small flashlights, usually little button cells or something, and they're, you know, connected to the necklace or cord that houses the sheath for the neck knife. All right, so they always have, you know, a flashlight and a knife right at the chest at the ready. I've also seen, although pretty rare, I'm sure, I've seen very small flashlights attached to lanyards at the bottom of a knife. I've seen that. You know, the sky's the limit. People have all kinds of ideas. But I wanted to carry this as a neck light to see what that would be like. There's plenty of people out there that don't like the idea of a neck knife. That's totally fine. Something like this, a flashlight, I think not only would be more comfortable for some people to openly carry, but maybe you don't have room in your pocket for that flashlight. Who knows? So what I did was I carry this around the house because oftentimes when I'm around the house, I don't have my neck knife on. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, just kind of depends. So that was the one time I didn't have anything on my neck. When I was out in public, I didn't want to wear this with my neck knife because you guys know I prefer the neck knife, but I didn't want to have two separate, you know, necklaces and cords getting tangled and swinging around and stuff. So never carried this out and about, but did use it around the house. So real quick, let's talk about the packaging here. All right, I do like it, nice little presentation box. The necklace part was all corded up. It looked really nice when you opened it. Of course, paperwork. This has the breakdown real quick on some specs, which I'll show you, which is easier than trying to explain. You can pause the screen. So you can key in on some of the specs. So right there. So let's take a look at this chain and the setup here. Again, there's a little clasp, a crab claw style. All right, so that pops off pretty easy. All right, if you didn't want to, you know, take this off to use it in hand, you don't have to actually take it off your neck, which is nice. Also, I like the style. Instead of just circular beads, it alternates between this pattern. It makes it a little bit harder to find the actual clasp that opens it. And then, of course, you know, if you wanted to, you can adjust the length. Usually when I have a neck knife, what I'll do for the, you know, metal beads like this, I'll cut off a section, you know, permanently because I'm never going to be sharing it with anyone else. If I do end up trading it or selling or something, it's usually fine anyway. But I don't like things hanging too low on the chest. This one I kept, you know, the full length just because of the fact that I was carrying around the house. Wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty convenient. I do like that. But again, it doesn't have to be a neck flashlight. You can carry this any way you want. So pretty interesting little light. Wuben, W-U-B-E-N. Possibly Wuben. I don't really know how to pronounce that. I'm going to say Wuben. That's what naturally came out when I first saw it. I actually have a couple different flashlights from them that I've been testing. I got these back, I want to say September last year, possibly early October. I've been focusing on this one the most. They also have a much more powerful flashlight, and I also have like an EDC style flashlight from them. Overall, the quality is not that bad. The beam on this is, I'm not sure if you could be able to see it here. There's high and low. The beam, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. Maybe I'll do a demo on the wall at the end of the video so you guys can, you know, get more detail on that. It's not perfect. It's not like super crisp. It fades out on the edge, which I do like. I don't like the spotlight style, but it's like a little bit uneven. There's one spot that seems like it's a little bit brighter. Just could be, you know, the light refracting around the inside here. If you zoom in on the head of the flashlight, you can see there is a lens here that has a magnification to it, okay, to further that beam. But that's where you get those little artifacts. Oftentimes when you have lenses like this, that's when you get a little bit, you know, funky beams. It's not too bad, and when using it, it's not noticeable. It's only me critiquing it, you know, specifically looking at the beam. But, you know, works totally fine like every other flashlight. The LED in here is a Cree XP G2. To use the light, it is really easy. You just twist the head. All right, no buttons here. So once it goes on, we're in our low mode, and then twist all the way for that high output. 130 lumens is actually pretty bright. You know, obviously, if you're carrying a light that's 500 lumens, this isn't going to seem as bright, but I would say 100 lumens or over is totally enough light for most tasks. We just happen to prefer as much as possible. Better suited obviously indoors, looking behind a couch, behind a filing cabinet or something at work. You know, those type tasks are totally fine. It's enough light for that. If you're outside and just, you know, looking through the woods or something like an area where I live, obviously you're going to want something a little bit more powerful. But for most people, it's probably going to be enough light, and it's such a tiny little package. Now, if we unscrew the head totally, we can see there is a charging port. This is a micro USB, all right, very easily found, very common. Now, if I put the head back on the flashlight, all right, we go towards the tail end, and I unscrew that. That's when we access the actual battery in case you ever need to replace it. Okay, so the tail cap does unscrew completely. And again, that houses this tiny little battery. So if you do need battery replacements, this is a 10180. That is the size of the battery. And as I rotate this, we can see that it is a 70 milliamp hour lithium ion. All right, so pretty cool. I like that it is removable. A lot of times when you get batteries this small, sometimes they have a charging port like this one does, but there's sometimes no access to the actual battery. So after so many uses, it's just garbage. You have to replace the whole light as opposed to just the battery. All right, this one is in titanium. All right, they have some other similar models. I think they do offer them in stainless steel as well as aluminum. I don't know about this one specifically, the 338, but these sell for about $35 to $40. I think for the price point, that is awesome. I saw a write-up on these a little while back when I first heard of the brand on Candle Power forums, and they were talking the titanium model for $25. I don't know if they're still selling that. I mean, as far as where you're going to get them, you have to find them online mostly. You're not going to find these at Walmart or something. So online is the only source that I know of. But using their direct website, you're going to have obviously access to all the models. I looked on Amazon and eBay. And on Amazon, they're mostly selling their other flashlights. They're not selling their G series, which is all the little, you know, kind of micro lights. So you just have to kind of look around. There's plenty of online sites that will carry them. Just do a Google search to find them. So overall, I mean, I really like the light. I like the concept of carrying a neck light if you're not into neck knives. Or again, like I said, if you wanted to add this to the cord on your sheath on your neck knife or something. So it's always accessible, specifically because you have a quick, you know, detach. It's not like you have to take your whole, you know, neck knife off and carry it around with the knife. You just unclick it and then you can use it in hand. So very, very cool. Let me get a shot on the wall to see if I can show you the actual beam pattern, because that's really my only gripe, is that the beam, to me, is a little bit on the sloppy side. But I mean, it doesn't affect the light in general. It's just me being more of a perfectionist and comparing it to tons of other flashlights in the market. So let's take a quick look what that looks like. All right, so here's just a quick shot. It's not totally dark in here. I have ambient light. But if I rotate the light, I don't know if you guys can see some of the artifacts. I mean, it's not perfect. Actually, in camera, you're kind of seeing a pretty good beam. In person, it seems like there's just a little bit of artifacts on this side here. Again, I mean, this is me critiquing it, because that's the whole point, is to critique it. For most people, you're not going to be doing this. You're going to turn on, flash it, whatever you're trying to see in the dark, and it's going to work, you know. But in person, it's just like I said, it's a little bit sloppy, again, because of the, you know, magnifying lens. I think it throws it off. If they just, you know, didn't use that, use a regular glass lens or even a plastic lens and a nice reflector, you would have, you know, achieved a better beam. But anyway, that is all. So let me know your opinions on this light if you happen to have it, of course. I'd love to hear your feedback. But also let me know in the comments if you have ever or currently carry some form of flashlight around the neck, with or without a neck knife. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Take care.